Hello, my name is Junko. Some days grow warm, other days turn cold again. Sunny skies, then gentle rain. This is the season when winter slowly gives way to spring. In Japan, we call it Sunkan Shion, 3 cold days followed by 4 warm ones. Spring is almost here. And when we speak of spring in Japan, we speak of Sakura, cherry blossoms. The cherry blossoms that softly paint the town in pink. I really love them. Today, I would like to tell you a little story about Sakura. From a botanical point of view, cherry blossoms belong to the genus Prunus in the rose family. However, what we call Sakura is not a single plant. The word includes wild species, cultivated varieties, and hybrid forms. In other words, Sakura is a collective name. Broadly speaking, cherry trees can be divided into 2 groups: wild species and cultivated varieties. Wild species are the trees that have grown naturally in Japan for centuries. There are about a dozen such species in Japan: Yamazakura, Edo Higan, Oshimazakura. These trees form the foundation of most modern cherry blossoms. Cultivated varieties, on the other hand, were created through human care and selection. Today, Japan is said to have more than 600 types of cherry blossoms. Most of them were developed from those wild species. In that sense, Sakura can be called a collaborative creation between nature and people. Wow, I didn't realize there were more than 600 kinds of cherry blossoms in Japan. Among them, the most famous is Somei Yoshino. It is believed to account for nearly 80% of all cherry trees in Japan. Their petals are a soft, pale pink. They bloom all at once, and they fall all at once. This brief and unified beauty resonates deeply with the Japanese sense of aesthetics. Yet many other types of cherry blossoms exist. Yamazakura produces leaves and flowers at the same time. Its color is almost white, giving it a modest and natural appearance. Edo Higan trees are famous for their longevity. Some are said to be over 1,000 years old. There are also double-flowered cherries, known as yaezakura. Their many petals make them look rich and elegant. They bloom later than other cherry trees, and their flowers last a little longer. They leave behind what might be called the lingering feeling of spring. In other words, cherry blossoms are not just one flower. Their shapes, their colors, the way they bloom, all of these are wonderfully diverse. The blooming season varies depending on the species and the region. Across the Japanese archipelago, the blossoms travel from south to north. This movement is known as the cherry blossom front. Some early varieties begin blooming in late February. Kawazu Sakura is a well-known example. Later varieties bloom from late April into May. In Hokkaido, the best viewing time often arrives during Golden Week. Even in the same place, the timing changes every year. Temperature, sunlight, daily differences between warm and cold, even elevation matters. For every 100 meters higher, the bloom comes 2 or 3 days later. That is why each year's cherry blossoms feel unique. I have a friend who follows the cherry blossom front every year on a road trip, all the way to Hirosaki Park in Aomori. She says the blossoms are so beautiful because they bloom after enduring the long winter. Listening to her makes me want to grab my camera and follow the cherry blossoms across Japan. Cherry trees also have a delicate nature. One well-known trait is their relatively short lifespan. Somei Yoshino trees begin to weaken after about 60 years. This is because they're propagated by grafting, meaning most of them are essentially clones. Cherry trees are also vulnerable to disease and insects. Without careful maintenance, they can decline quickly. They are beautiful, but also fragile. So many people take care of these delicate trees. Thank you very much. In recent years, more and more visitors from overseas come to Japan to see the cherry blossoms. Japan has a cultural tradition called hanami, flower viewing. The Japanese word mideru means more than simply liking something. It describes a feeling of quietly admiring beauty, allowing your heart to be moved by it. After the harsh winter ends, spring arrives, and the cherry blossoms bloom with gentle vitality. That is why sakura are such special flowers to the Japanese people. Please remember, do not pick the flowers, do not break the branches. Simply admire them. I hope you will cherish the cherry blossoms as part of your memories of Japan. Cherry blossoms also symbolize something deeper. For them, full bloom is already the beginning of the end. Their beauty is brief. They bloom suddenly, and they fall just as quickly. This graceful transience has long been connected to Japanese culture. Bushido, the awareness that all things are impermanent. Sakura has come to symbolize these ideas. Cherry blossoms have inspired many words: hanami, flower viewing; yozakura, cherry blossoms at night; sakura fubuki, a storm of falling petals; sakura namiki, rows of cherry trees. Each phrase instantly paints a picture. In traditional poetry, they are also important seasonal words. Hatsuzakura, the first blossoms of spring; hanabie, the chill that returns after blossoms bloom; hana ikara, petals floating along the surface of water. Cherry blossoms are more than flowers. They become words. They become memories. Every year, they quietly mark the passing of time in our lives. Today, we talked about cherry blossoms. This was Junko. I hope you have a wonderful day.